talk about offshore medical schools versus staying in the US.
Okay.
And then we can talk about DO versus MD.
Okay. Hi, I'm Dr. Ciri.
And I'm Dr. Ava, and welcome to Sisters in Medicine.
We wanted to talk to you all about the difference between the MD degree and the DO degree, as well as the difference between offshore medical schools and US based medical schools. Dr. Ava, you have gone to Ross University, correct?
Correct.
And so you are the expert in offshore medical schools. So tell
I don't know if I would call myself the expert, but I think me and you are the perfect combination to be able to explain to people what we think the best decision would be to make. Because you went to a a US school. I think that if someone had the choice to go to a US versus Caribbean school or a school outside of the US, so we're going to say offshore for anything outside the US, my honest opinion would be that they stay in the US if they can. If that's an option, if that's a possibility, that would always be the first choice and my first recommendation for anyone. Now, if there's no way that you stay in the US and you do decide to go offshore, I would say you have to work your butt off. You have to make sure that you don't get distracted. You focus on your studies. You cannot even afford to have a mediocre grade or even afford to fail an exam even one time because that will definitely count against you. Going offshore, I mean, I was able to do it. I can say I'm a success story, but it's not easy for everyone to go outside of the country and go to school because not everybody's going to be able to have the best grade or be the best in their class or do the best possible that they can in the USMLE. So it doesn't matter if I went to Ross University or anywhere outside the country. I would say stay in the US if you can because after getting into residency is so competitive, and some fields don't even consider offshore graduates at all because the competitiveness is so high, like dermatology or radiology, or you know what I'm talking about,
them.
right? So that's my recommendation. I can talk a little bit more about going to school outside of the US, but I want you to tell everyone that's listening what you think since you went to a US graduate school.
So I went to Loyola University in Chicago, and I feel like U.S. medical schools compared to Caribbean schools, just from what I've heard from people, they are a lot more supportive in terms of helping you matriculate. And the reason being, they want to keep their numbers good, they want to keep their match rates good. Whereas Caribbean schools, I feel like they have less of an incentive to do that. And they're more so like, if you're willing to pay tuition and come here, it's at your own risk. Come on in, get your medical degree kind of thing. So I think US medical schools are definitely way more supportive. So if you're someone who needs that support in order to complete your studies and do well on the USMLE, like you said, which is the board exam that medical students take. US medical schools are great for that.
I agree. I think you'll probably have way more support going to school here than abroad. And but that being said, if you go to school outside, they do teach you the material, but a lot more falls on your lap. It's more of your responsibility to go and make sure you understand, memorize, study, and find the help that you need if there's something you don't understand, compared to here where I think it's already readily available to you, so that support is lacking in a way, but it is possible. So it all depends on you, the type of person that you are, how you study, how well you do on standardized exams. It's not easy, but it's doable if you go outside of the country. But still, if you have a chance, a possibility, anything available to you that will make you be able to get accepted into a medical school in the US, that's the way to go for sure.
Do you think there's a stigma in residency programs about Caribbean schools? Do you think that residencies are less likely to accept and match people from Caribbean schools?
Absolutely. I think that if you compare two people that did just as good, that are equally as great on paper, and one went outside of the country and one stayed in the country, they'll definitely pick the one that went to a U.S. graduate school over the one that went outside. And so, because you go outside of the country, you have even more stress and more pressure on you to prove yourself. So you have to do even better than the ones going to school in the US for them to even consider you or look at your application and say, well, that person is great on paper. So maybe I'll take them over the US grad.
Right.
And that pressure is crazy. Like, just to have that pressure is insane, because you have to be on top of it, on top of everyone, to be able to make it into a residency program. And then if you want to go into one of the very competitive fields, sometimes going outside of the country makes it almost zero chance of you getting into those fields. So you have to consider that too. Which field you want to go into? Pediatric, family medicine, the easier fields to get in, you have a better chance than the competitive fields.
And just to clarify, by easier, you just mean it's less competitive because less people want to do those
That's what I
things.
mean, exactly. They have, well, less people want to do it, that's one. Two, they also have more availability, like more spots,
Hmm.
more open positions available for those fields. Some of the competitive fields, like vascular surgery, for example, they don't take a lot of people. Like some hospitals for internal medicine or even family practice, some of them take like 15, 20 people, you know? Whereas vascular or derm or radiology, it's less spots available. So that makes it even more competitive.
Let's talk about the DO and MD. So you have an MD.
I have an MD and you have an MD, right?
I have an MD.
Okay, I don't know too much about DO, so I think maybe I'm gonna let you tell everyone what the difference is.
Okay, so as far as I know, the difference is the type of medical school that you go to and the type of material that you learn. So people who go to MD schools like Dr. Ava and I, we learn allopathic medicine, meaning traditional evidence-based medicine, and we take the USMLE board exam to push us through and get our certifications. Whereas DOs, they learn the similar type of medicine that we learn, but they also do what they call the touchy feely stuff. Like they know pressure points and they're really into muscles, and it's touchy feely medicine.
And that's osteopathic medicine.
Exactly. Osteopathic, not allopathic. So
Right.
Philly medicine, and instead of USMLEs, they take the COMLEX exams to get them through their certifications. Now, the thing about DOs, and I have friends who are DOs who did this, they can take both the COMLEX exams and the USMLE exams if they want to apply to both DO residency programs and MD residency programs. MDs, like Dr. Ava and I, we can only apply to MD residency programs. For those, if they take both of those tests, like I talked about, the USMLE and the COMLEX, they have a wider net that they can cast when they're applying for their specialty training. So, to my understanding, that's really the difference. A DO person or someone who went to a DO school would better be able to tell you all what exactly they learned that we don't learn. But at the end of it all, they still have access to MD residencies if they should want to go to an MD residency. I don't think residency programs care what your medical degree is, whether it's DO or MD. DOs do have the option of applying to MD residencies. Now, from what I understand, the ACGME, which is the governing body of the medical degree, the MD, they are about to also become the governing body for the DO degree. So in a couple of years, it probably won't even matter
Right.
what your doctorate degree is.
Right. And I don't even think that in real life it matters. The DOs, just like the MDs, we have the same opportunities, the same jobs that are available to MDs are available to DOs. The money that they're getting paid and that we're getting paid is the same. The subspecialties that are available to MDs are also available to DOs. I don't think it matters if you go to a DO school or MD school. So to me, I feel like as for opportunity, It's the same. It's just your preference as to if you want to learn allopathic medicine versus osteopathic medicine. In conclusion, our recommendation is stay in the US if you can because it's getting more and more competitive. I mean, I remember years ago when I was going through residency, there was the pre match, and the pre match was only available to foreign graduates. But now that does not even exist anymore. You know, everybody has to go through the same matching process. It doesn't matter if you come from a DO school, a MD school in the US, or a foreign grad, you have to go through the same matching system. So it's way more competitive if you're outside of the US. So it's a chance that you're gonna take if you leave. But if you do take that chance, you better work hard and not screw it up.
So I guess that's all for today, everyone. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment below. Let us know what you want to hear about next time, and we will see you later. Bye.
Bye.
All right. You ready?
What are we gonna talk about?
Girl's question, remember?
What girl's question?
The
Oh, yeah. I forgot to tell her
All
that.
right, ready?
Damn cat. Okay.
Is that Zeus?
Zeus just jumped up, and I thought one of the kids came. Okay. I'm ready.
You want to have your gum in your mouth while we do it, or no?
Hmm. I'll stick it on the chair for now. I want to get up. Can you hear the noise?
I can. It's background though, so I could probably just bleep it out. It's okay.
Why are they screaming downstairs?
They're having fun.